This podcast contains explicit content.
Let's begin the show by starting it.
Hardly focused.
This podcast is hardly focused.
And it gets significantly more vulgar.
Dissecting the news one tangent at a time.
When there's nothing left to burn, you have to set yourself on fire.
This is gonna be a doozy. I don't even know where to begin with this one. It has been a week.
I mean, maybe you should listen to your intro. We should start at the beginning.
Ah, it's true.
I don't even know where the beginning is, though. where does it even start, man?
Well, the end is the beginning is the end, right?
That
Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
Hashtag best Batman movie ever.
Yeah, that's a great song. That soundtrack is fantastic. And then I think it was
the best.
I think it was Watchmen.
Yep.
Used the end is the beginning is the end. They used the remix.
I'm super excited you said that. That's why I'm doing this, whatever this is.
Yeah.
I love that remix. It's really good. That's all I have to say.
Well, I'm a big Smashing Pumpkins fan, and that was also I think the first song they released after Jimmy Chamberlain was fired, and it was there's a lot of anticipation behind it because people didn't know what the band was going to sound like without Jimmy Chamberlain, and then that song comes out. That song and I from what the fuck movie was it? I think it was a David Lynch movie. But I is also a great song, and they're actually playing when they were on tour a couple of years when they did that big reunion tour. They were playing I at those shows. But great soundtrack.
Lost Highway.
Yes, thank you.
Which is a great soundtrack, bar none. Lost Highway.
The Goo Goo Dolls are on there too, and that song is just a banger. That was a rare hit for the Goo Goo Dolls because they pretty much sold out at that point.
The Perfect Drug is on that soundtrack. You've got Lou Reed, Marilyn Manson. Like, there's Rammstein. Like that entire. That's the pinnacle of I bought a soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then nothing like that. And then what? Dracula 2000. Is that what it was? Queen of the Damned. That was the last great soundtrack.
Yeah, movie soundtracks just aren't the same anymore,
except for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's a given.
that's like an outlier.
That's almost
great soundtracks anymore.
It's kind of ironic that right before we got ready for this show, I put on the soundtrack to Garden State, and it's like,
oh, there you go.
And it's just like, now we're talking about soundtracks full circle. I don't know what's life.
Well,
we started at the beginning, and now we're going to go to the end, right?
Right. So thanks for watching.
I forever maintain that the Twilight movies, despite being the Twilight movies,
despite being Twilight,
have fantastic soundtracks. The soundtracks for the Twilight movies are really good, all of them. And they were also all songs largely written for the movies. You don't see that nowadays with movie soundtracks where they don't just have like a B-side lying around, or they're actually commissioned to write a song for the movie. It doesn't happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of good artists on that soundtrack. Even the first one: Muse, Paramore, Linkin Park, Perry Farrell, Collective Soul, Iron and Wine.
Yeah.
When it comes to when I think about soundtracks, I think it's Underworld, where like I learned that. How do you pronounce her name? Mila Jovovich? Jolovich?
I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna let you have it. Keep going.
Mila Jehovah's Witness. She put out like a really great song.
Yeah.
It's called Rocket Collecting, and it's like kind of like an interesting song, but that's I don't know how to pronounce her name. So how much can you?
Wow, this never happens. Someone else can't pronounce something.
Yeah, no, it was gonna happen eventually. I usually don't pronounce people's names for that specific reason, and I was like, yeah, it's only Jack. Only Jack can pronounce people's names.
Mark it. The 4th of October, 2020.
It was gonna happen.
Her name is the Fifth Element. Okay, that's what her name is.
Oh yeah, Multipass.
Yes, Multipass.
Really? I've been calling her Resident Evil this whole time.
Yeah, that's
Lilu
true.
Dallas Multipass.
All right. This is Hardly Focused. This is the 475th episode with Jack.
Clearly, hardly focused.
Oh yeah, holy shit.
With Jack, Mike, and Nate. The 4th of October. October 4th, traditionally the day that Opie and Anthony's contract would always renew. They started on XM satellite radio in 2004 on this day, 16 years ago. Both of whom have since been fired from that company for various reasons.
Shocker. Keep up tradition.
We do have merchandise, Hardly Focused merchandise available at our store at hardlyfocused.com/store. If you are watching the video version of this show, you can see that I'm wearing it, the family-friendly Hardly Focused shirt. And it looks fucking great.
You know, I've listened to the show like a bunch, and this is the first time like I get to interact with you while you. I didn't know that was like the theme. You're like, you'll know this theme from. I was like, what is he talking about? And then finally, I watched the video. I was like, oh, I get the reference now.
My father saw this shirt, and he didn't know the reference. And he was like, hey, that's a really nice design. I like your shirt. And
you're right, Dad. It is a great design, isn't it?
How do I have a boner?
So you can find this shirt at hardlyfocused.com/store. I'm really happy with how it came out. Looks great. So as I grab my moobs here,
Bob has bitch tits.
So yeah, it's been a week. There's a lot to go over.
We talked to you.
Yeah, it's been well, yeah. I mean, we had a lot to talk about last week, and then I decided food poisoning was the better thing to do. So instead of sitting here and talking with you fine folks, I spent most of the weekend sitting on the toilet.
What a loser!
So
pooping on the toilet
sounds shitty.
my ass.
No, it was indeed a shitty weekend.
Comedy.
Jokes.
Jokes.
So I was up going early Friday morning. I thought about going to sleep. I didn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, the news broke that our Cheeto in chief, our commander in queef, Danny Tramp, him and Melania, they caught it. They caught the Rona.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me, except I was sleeping, and then I woke up to check to see what time it was, and I saw that my phone was like lit up with like messages, and I was like,
"What time is it? It's time to ill." What's?
Oh, God. Okay, Sarah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it was just calamity. I see. I don't get into. I'm not Mike.
Really?
I don't get into fights on social media, but I upset a few people with my knee-jerk reactions and my commentary about the news of Trump being diagnosed with COVID. The thing that really seemed to rile people is when I was extending my best wishes to Melania and Melania only.
Yeah.
Somebody wasn't happy about that one.
Some people were really upset. I don't ever again, I'm not Mike. I don't block people too for, when these debates happen.
I don't block people. Usually they just get pissed off and block me.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah, but
Nice.
I finally had to block someone who is actually a pretty dedicated listener of this show. And if he's listening, seriously, dude, get your diabetes in check. Stop letting the doctors take your toes away. That's not healthy.
Oh, is that Seven Toe Steve?
It might as well be. Is that what we're gonna call him, Steve?
Sure.
Yeah. Actually, when I posted on our Twitter page,
Five Ghost Frank
at Focused Hardly, the tweet that he sent me, interpreting that I was wishing death upon our president with his COVID diagnosis, which was not the case. So his reaction was to wish COVID upon me, which was logical. And then he promptly blocked me afterwards. And
little snowflake action there, blocking people.
Yeah, I was receiving some feedback from other listeners who were like, who had similar stories to share about that guy. So again, I'm sure he's listening right now, and I wish nothing but the best to you as a bus hits you in a crosswalk. So
the little Mean Girls right there, huh?
I don't know where to begin with this one. Mike, you posted on Facebook just one word when the news broke. One single
Schadenfreude, and let's talk about Schadenfreude.
One single word, and according to several websites, I cited Mashable for this one, but Merriam-Webster sees 30,000% spike. 30,000% spike in Schadenfreude searches following Trump's diagnosis.
I assume half of those searches are like, how do I spell it? C-H-A-D. No, wait. S-C-A-D. No.
And if you're like me, you had to look up the definition to remind yourself what it meant. And it is the, I'm surprised a picture of myself was not next to the word in the dictionary.
I already had my picture there.
Pleasure derived from someone's pain. But seriously, now I'm not wishing death upon the president, because that's just stooping to the lowest possible level. But I will fight anyone when I say this is karma, because I believe in karma. And this right here is karma.
Yes.
That's busma right there, not just karma. That's a busma.
I see what you did there.
Call back.
Speed, because Keanu Reeves is in the movie Speed, and he's on a bus.
I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. It is karma for the downplaying of the pandemic.
Not wearing a mask ever.
Not wearing a mask. Ripping over Biden during the debate for wearing a mask.
That did not age well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't have to go that far back in the tweet history to be like, oh, hey, yes, that stupid comment you made. All right.
Hours later. Trump's calling it the yellow flu too, right? Isn't he? I know he's calling it the China flu.
Chinese flu, Kung flu.
Kung flu, thank you. Yeah. It's
the thing, that's what he called it once.
Right. Now, see, I'm sure something will come back to bite me in the ass for, wishing a bus hitting, our former listener. But but that's karma. That's what it is. And when the leader of the free world won't shut the hell up in making light of this disease that is now affected over 1 million people across the world.
I just feel like that everybody's like, hey, we've got to offer our thoughts and prayers to the president. No, we fucking don't. Because all you guys for the last 4 years ran the Trump train of let's shit on as many people that aren't like us as possible. So you can take your fucking I need compassion now and shove it up your ass. So
yeah, I totally agree with that.
I don't wish he dies. And only because if Pence is the main person on the ticket, there would be more people to vote for him because he's less crazy evil as Trump. And Trump is just that toxic. So I hope Trump does survive at least until November 4th. And then I don't care.
A month.
I don't wish death upon him. I do want to see him in an orange jumpsuit. That's
I will be very careful with my words too.
I don't need the Secret Service knocking on my door yet.
I don't wish, death on anyone. I do see a problem though. Like I can see him surviving this and then saying that this was nothing and that like masks are silly and it's just a cold, or I can see him like very downplaying this and then it making things really bad because people are gonna think, oh yeah, it was nothing for him.
He's going to. He's absolutely going to. He's going to.
Which is funny because he's going to be getting really fucking sick because he's in the perfect age bracket for bad symptoms.
Oh, not even the perfect age bracket.
Weight bracket.
Weight bracket. Yeah.
Health bracket.
So while I don't hope that he dies from it, I do hope that
he gets sick enough
so that he can't say nothing happened.
Right.
You know, like because that's the most dangerous thing about this whole thing. The most dangerous thing is not him dying. The most dangerous part is him spewing out lies like he's been doing all this time, and then very convincingly saying that this was nothing, and then convincing people who already don't want to wear masks to not wear masks. So that's my saying.
Anyone who, as I vape, anyone remember the days in 2019 when vaping was the worst? It was the worst thing happening in this country, in this world.
God.
Oh man, to go back to those days, to go back to a time where I was upset because I couldn't get cartridges. Oh, I long for those days.
Those halcyon days.
Yeah, I have not seen any commentary from a single person who's had COVID, who's beaten it, who has said it's nothing. There have been the people who have come out and said, I had it, but I was asymptomatic. I didn't realize I had it. But then there are the people who were symptomatic who said, I wouldn't wish this upon anyone. It sucks. And there are people who are permanently screwed up because of it.
Yeah, I agree.
All I know is that my mom, of all people, Saint Marcia, texted me Friday and go, hey. And then you know Marcia, she's not into technology or texting. You'll be happy. Trump tested positive. Laughing face, smiling face emoji.
Oh, Marcia for the win.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I went out to dinner with Stefan, my old roommate, and sometime co-host of this podcast, before he helped me rearrange a lot of furniture in my home. And, you know, he is very outspoken about politics. If you want to have a largely civil conversation with someone about politics, even if you don't agree with him, you can have it with Stefan.
He definitely keeps it like
he does
civilized, but like very cerebral, like I would say.
Yeah. Stefan's told me, Mike, that he enjoys actually discussing politics with you because you guys don't end up like throwing blunt objects at one another.
I know enough to be like, he may disagree. I may disagree with him, but he's not like a Trump cultist where like you show him facts and he's like, facts don't matter to me.
Yeah.
Like if I showed him facts, he'd be like, I disagree with you and I understand those facts are accurate. Yeah. All right. I can still disagree, but I can understand that those are accurate facts.
Yeah. He'll be the one to point out that all the things that Trump has succeeded with in the last 4 years. He's also not a Biden fan, but at the same time, he and people that he knows who are even the most ardent of Trump supporters all say the same thing. Take his fucking Twitter away.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't let the man speak unless there is a teleprompter in front of him and that he has a cattle prod to his back that will shock him if he goes off script.
Yeah.
That is the general consensus. I would really hope that this diagnosis will be a kick in the pants for him. It won't be.
It won't. But you can hope. But I just think you pointed it out.
Obama's thing. So obviously Trump wouldn't have that.
Oh, you did it. I see what you did there.
I'm scared because I really hope that he is not reelected a month from now. But I'm scared
we're all scared
because of just the different things I've heard about who's in Senate right now and what the polls are saying and that his diagnosis is actually helping him. I'm scared. I really am.
Yeah. We'll have to see what will happen to this country in November, because that's like the biggest thing. Is it feels like either way, we're not going to be getting along anytime soon.
There's going to be a riot no matter what.
Yeah.
There's a great song by Kaiser Chiefs called "I Predict a Riot," and that is going to be that should be
the theme.
That should be the nation's theme for the next 30 days.
Well, the one thing that we can tell our 4 listeners here is that do not expect a final outcome on the actual election night.
Good point.
We are going to have tens of millions of ballots that need to be manually counted because they were mailed in. So there are going to be stupid shows like OANN, and that's going to be like, Trump wins at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you're like, get fucking bent, one. But two, realize that all of these, especially in battleground states or swing states, they're going to have to count things. It may take more than a week to get the final numbers. Obviously, fucking Massachusetts is going to go blue. Wyoming is going to go red. You know these things. But calm down. We'll riot the week after, okay?
Yeah, but people are still going to lose their shit because it's going to be like Trump's winning and then freak out about that. And then it's going to be Biden winning and then they're going to freak out about that. And it's just going to be like, no one's going to pay attention to anything. Even if you prepare people for everything, they're still going to fucking, look at the mask thing. We're like how many months into this? And people are like, wait a minute. The people, all of the Republicans that weren't wearing masks, they're sick? What about the Democrats who are wearing masks? Why didn't they get sick? It must be because the Democrats poisoned them.
Clearly QAnon.
People looking at Biden wondering, Biden's pushing 80. And why isn't he sick? Why how come he's testing negative? How come Joe Biden's testing negative? I don't know. Could it be because they were wearing a mask? Both wearing masks?
And walking hands?
Yeah,
it can't be. Cannot.
Because she's a doctor, right? Jill Biden.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's fucking no way.
I mean, she's not a centerfold model. That's all we know.
I anticipate a degree of intelligence betwixt the two of them. So, yeah. I was watching MSNBC while I was getting the show ready. And Scaramucci was on. Anthony Scaramucci.
Will you do the fandango?
Remember him?
Lightning, very, very frightening.
Remember him? He was press secretary for like a week. Yeah.
1 week.
And now I anticipate there's a bit of bitterness because he was fired after only a week. But he is I think he actually put it best. He wishes a speedy recovery for the president and the first lady, but at the same time, he wishes them both out of office swiftly.
Yes.
That's the jail cell.
That's the response. That is what that is the that's the appropriate response.
Yeah.
So,
but there's also like the double standards going on. It's like you had so many people saying like the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat, and like people just saying all sorts of really nasty things, and now they're like, shame on you for wishing our president be ill. It's like, God damn it, here we are again.
Right. It's almost like a perfect balance, but it's a perfect balance of hate.
Yeah.
Let the hate flow through you.
Quickly, on that note, Nate, on Twitter, the @TwitterComs account posts the following tweet. They said, tweets that wish or hope for death, serious bodily harm, or fatal disease against anyone are not allowed and will need to be removed. And the backlash against that was
swift,
instantaneous, with several politicians speaking out against Twitter, asking, where the fuck were you a year or two ago?
Yeah.
Several years ago. AOC posting on Twitter.
She's got some grade A snark. Let me tell you.
I really do like her
it's
for
not
that.
just like, hey, I just wanted to point out something. Can you do this? No, it was like, she's good.
Yeah. AOC, people don't like her because she's a minority. She's young. She's like the first woman to be elected into her position.
And she's very outspoken.
She's attractive. Remember?
Yes, they have this weird confusion. They're like, I'm attracted to her, but I hate her. Ugh.
The video that she did of her dancing, doing the dance from Breakfast Club that caused so much outrage.
Yes, they very angrily fap to her.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't get them.
It's just like middle school all over again. It's like you tease the one that you have a crush on.
You push them down in the playground.
Yeah.
That's not the appropriate thing to do.
She had a great response to this, though. She just goes, quote, "So you mean to tell us you could have done this the whole time?"
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, she gets flooded with death threats. And she has to review photos of the men who want to kill me. Yeah. All right. So
Yep.
maybe a 75-year-old old white guy can just, I don't know, suck it up a little bit and take one for the team.
Yeah.
Presidential harassment.
You can't dish what you're serving.
People pointing out, too, that he looked significantly less orange when he was doing his press conference from Walter Reed.
That's because they don't allow the makeup artist in there.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
He looks like a traditional old man instead of a orange deep fried chicken.
He's getting that classic, you look really sick. And it's like, I'm just not wearing my makeup. Thanks, asshole. Like, fuck you.
Do they have a spot at Walter Reed set up so presidents can go and like provide addresses? Because it looked like he was where he was like looked like it was set up in advance.
I don't think there's a specific like presidential suite, but I'm sure there is a spot for some, or maybe like it's Walter Reed, so maybe like generals or majors or go in there and do shit. I don't know.
I've been seeing a photo go around though.
Yeah,
of like his room,
pages.
Of like the room that he's in.
It was like covered in gold plated everything.
It's like it's super fancy. I didn't look into it because I don't care, so I don't know how real that is. But people are like, well,
there is actually a presidential suite. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I wonder
if
they had to do the thing that they showed on the West Wing when Bartlett gets shot. There's like the phone in the emergency room that only rings if the president is being wheeled in.
Yeah.
So, wrapping this up, I guess there's also been confusion in the news about his condition too and his symptoms because he's been symptomatic, but it's been a mix between people saying that he's fine and people saying that he had to be on oxygen, that he's been fatigued, that he's had a fever. And the most important and notable thing is that he was symptomatic for days before anyone said anything.
Yeah.
Even though,
and there's lots of things, man. I don't know how long you want this segment to go on for, but
2 hours later.
Yeah. I was just thinking like, yeah, there's that. There's the whole like, they wouldn't ask if he was on oxygen. It's like, well, he's not on oxygen today. And it's like, was he on oxygen yesterday though? But he wasn't on it today.
Yeah, and they're like
but what about yesterday? Today he wasn't on oxygen. It's like, come on.
The question I'm asking, answer the fucking question because they know they can't actually answer it without giving away his actual health.
Yeah, so there's that. But then there's also like they didn't tell most of the people he was in contact with. They had to find out through watching just like you and I found out.
Right.
They found out Trump has corona. They didn't even bother to write all those people that he had contact with.
Even the Bidens.
Yeah.
The Bidens found out on the news.
Yeah, no one got contacted. Isn't that what you're supposed to do though? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me like that's the first step is you immediately contact everybody who has had contact. That's how the shit spreads.
Tracing. Who's patient zero? Is it Hope Hicks?
Seems
possibly.
like it, but I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah. She was the first one
because there's so much that they don't fucking tell us.
Yeah, she was the first one that they announced, and you got Chris Christie who's got it.
And that's a different story too.
Chris Christie's already in ICU, isn't he? Right?
But he checked himself in.
Oh, okay.
Well, Chris Christie too. I mean, it could just be a case of bad gas. You don't know with him.
It could be his 95% blocked arteries, just like the bridge. Oh,
dude, that dude, like, if I ever have to explain the term front butt to anyone, and they're like, front butt, what's front butt? And I'll just be like, Chris Christie. And then people will nod and go, okay, I know what you're talking about. All right.
Front butt.
I don't know. Like, I went on Twitter the other day and I saw that he was trending, and there was just a whole war of people being like, yeah, I don't know if checking yourself in is like a thing. Like, I'm pretty sure you can't just like admit yourself into a hospital. I'm pretty sure you have to have a doctor, because he was saying like he was self-admitted. Like, he decided that he was going to stay there, like, on his own.
Yeah, you don't
like,
get
no doctors were like, yeah. And like, people
chilling
were
out
like,
in the waiting room the whole time.
That's a little weird.
He's just sitting there in the chairs. He's like, see, I'm at the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm at the hospital. See, I'm fine.
Yeah, he said he decided that he was going to stay there just to be safe, just for precautions. Like, that's not how it works, buddy. So people are questioning, what's going on with that?
No, he's at the hospital. He's in the hospital cafeteria. Best damn pudding cup in New Jersey. All right, there's so much more we can talk about with this, okay. But a couple of things. We have our YouTube channel. You can watch this podcast and segments from this podcast on our YouTube channel at hardlyfocused.com/YouTube. Nate has his YouTube channel, Space Bear Comedy Channel, and you can get that at hardlyfocused.com/Nate. And we have 2 installments in this episode of Hardly Shuffled. That's our music segment. Ooh. And here it is.
Hardly Focused presents Hardly Shuffled.
Hardly Shuffled.
Check out the songs that we are currently listening to.
The Ting Tings, Wrong Club. E-Rock, Song of Storms meets metal. Alexis on Fire, The Northern. Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade. Closure in Moscow, Reindeer Age.
Hear more and follow the Hardly Shuffled playlist on Spotify at hardlyfocused.com/shuffled. hardlyfocused.com/shuffled. The Hardly Focused web store, featuring Hardly Focused branded shirts, stickers, and face masks. Spend some of your hard-earned money at hardlyfocused.com/store.